It took me between 2 days and 12 weeks for my members to open a new account. Today, we're an organisation where accounts are opened in about 13 seconds.
Welcome to Impact Insights, where we speak with leaders driving bold digital change. I'm Emaad Akhtar, co-anchor of Money FM 89.3's Breakfast Show, and today I'm joined by Brendan Donoghue, head of digital and customer experience at UniSuper, someone at the forefront of reimagining what member-first experiences look like in superannuation. Welcome, Brendan.
Thank you very much for having me.
Yeah, thanks for coming on. Your company has been on a journey to modernize digital experiences. It is probably much harder than it sounds. What is one bold decision you've made that's helped move the needle for your members?
If I can take you back 5 years.
Yeah.
So 5 years ago, we had an organization that had about 25% digital engagement. It took me between 2 days and 12 weeks for my members to open a new account. And most of our self-service requests came in via paper and required manual processing. Today, we're an organisation where accounts are opened in about 13 seconds, where 85% of my entire base is digitally engaged. Members over 60 are 87% digital engagement, so they're my highest cohort of engagement. And most of the transactions are untouched by human hands. They're submitted digitally, they're processed digitally, and money goes straight into a member's account. If they're making a withdrawal, the action's processed quickly. So to answer your question, what's the big decision that we made that made a big impact? It was to really be comfortable telling our members where we were going to go. In the past, we used to nag our members. They'd join and we would ask them, would you like to enroll? Would you like to join us digitally? Would you like to give us those details? Today, we don't do that. We mandate you need to provide them as you join. We move people from paper to digital, but along the way, we explain why. We explain that it's better for the environment, it's safer and more secure for them, and they have the opportunity to actually self-serve. So the bold decision really was to trust that the members will come with us on that journey, and the proof's in the pudding. They've been happy to come along that journey, and many of them are much more engaged today because of that decision.
Yeah, I guess another way of asking this question is, are there any insights you've gleaned from member feedback that has changed how you approach CX?
Almost everything.
Yeah.
You know, we think that we've got it right up until we start testing with our members. I don't think there's been a solution that I've done in 7 years that I've gotten right the first time. Before we build a single line of code, before we write a single line of code, we'll go through a member testing phase. So we'll put concepts, clickable prototypes in front of our members, and we'll really see if they resonate. Every single time we learn something. Now, if there's too much learning, we'll go through a couple of rounds to make sure we've got it right, and then we'll finally deploy once we feel like we've got it.
What does great member experience actually look like in the context of a retirement fund? And secondly, how do you measure success?
Can I tell you, it's a hard question to answer because my answer today will be out of date within 2 years.
Yeah.
So a great member experience today is a member who feels like they're in control, a member who has what they need at their fingertips, so their account balance, the ability to self-service, and is connected with the fund. We judge whether or not a member is happy. Survey, we seek to understand, we get feedback, but we also judge their preparedness for retirement. So what's their account balance? We have a series of market-leading calculators that they can engage with, and they can tell us this is what they'd like to do in retirement, calculate out their budget, and they can see if they're on track or if they need to make adjustments. What that'll look like in a few years, though, I think that's going to be a radically different story. You think about 10 years ago, we had probably iPods with similar levels of music on them. We weren't streaming Netflix necessarily. Today, our homepages, our daily playlists, they're all completely personalized.
Yeah.
Yet for my members, much of what they consume digital is exactly the same as different generations, different age demographics. I want to get to the point where it's highly personalized. We talk about wanting to be the Netflix of retirement. It doesn't mean we want to stream videos to you when you're in retirement, but we want to give you a retirement that is as personalized as your Netflix homepage, and it understands you at that deeper level, giving you the options and the capabilities that you need to plan your retirement.
Yeah, as you said, you're doubling down on a highly personalized experience. That being said, I gather there must be some members who are not financially savvy or financially confident. So, how do you personalize digital journeys without overwhelming those members?
I think the key is to keep the member in control at all times.
Mm.
So like I said, we've got that 85% digital engagement. Now, there are some members who don't. They don't want to, and that's perfectly fine. We're not going to force anyone to do anything. But what we do is we give people the option, we guide them down the path. People want different things in retirement, and that's why it's really important to have something that's personalised and works for them. I'm seeking to really understand what people want to do and then give them the options so that they can prepare for that outcome.
As digital and CX leaders, how do you strike a balance then between tech-driven innovation and the human touch that builds trust in a sector like yours?
I think the key for me is I don't want to see tech-driven change at my organization. I want to see tech-enabled change.
Yeah.
As a business leader, I think it's incumbent on me to be crystal clear on the future that we want to deliver for our members. I'm agnostic in relation to the type of technology that we want to use, but I am unmovable on the type of experience that I want to deliver. So as a business leader, I can then articulate to my tech partners, be they NCS or be they the internal tech teams that I work with, and articulate this is where I want to go. And then let them make the decisions on what's the type of technology that will be needed to support that change.
As you said, a lot can change between now and 3 years or perhaps even a year. What excites you most about the future of customer experience in financial services? Are you tracking any CX trends more closely than others?
So the most exciting or most interesting thing that I think is happening at the moment is the way that people are using large language models. So initially we thought people were going to use them a lot more to generate content in their personal lives. But what we're starting to see is that people are talking to them as a friend, as a colleague, as a confidant. I think there's something in that, particularly around the provision of financial services. Our challenge is always finding out, what do people really want? What do they think? How do we get them to a point where we can really personalize for them? I think this is where generative AI starts to play a part. If we can leverage that in the right way and build a deeper relationship with our members, we've got the ability then to actually communicate with them in a channel that they're opening up to and they're happy for us to be a partner in.
Yeah. Brendan, I'm going to put you on the spot and ask, if you had to build a future-proof CX strategy from scratch today, what is one unconventional move that you'd make that others may hesitate to try?
So everything that we have done in CX, I reckon for the past 15 years, has been about making it easier for our members or our customers to go on a treasure hunt. Be they digital forms, websites, mobile apps. It's all about laying out content, trying to understand the user's mental model and how they expect to go through and find content and surface it up in the right way. It's unglamorous, it's dressed up and it looks really nice, but I think there's a better way to do it. And that better way is actually being able to directly engage with an AI agent and say, this is the thing that I want to do, and have it performed for you so you don't have to go and find that content. That, for me, I think is the transformational moment that we're about to face into. And it's going to require a change in thinking and the tools that we use to do it.
What do you see as the biggest obstacle to growing in the next few years?
Look, for superannuation in Australia, we are on the precipice of dramatic growth. We are the fourth or fifth largest pension fund by size globally. We're about to become the second largest pension fund by size probably in about the next 10 years. I think the challenge for me isn't about how to grow. I think the challenge is, how do we ensure we maintain our social license as we grow? So that means we need to make sure that we're looking after our members, we're playing a positive role in the community, and we're not doing things that would break that trust in any way. And a really good example of that is, more things we do digitally, the more we have to focus on security, protect our members from financial crime, from scams. And that's where AI can play a really big part, because AI helps us detect the patterns, the opportunities that fraudsters might be leveraging to take advantage of our members, take advantage of our members, and that helps us protect them and keep them safe online.
What is one piece of advice you'd give to business leaders listening to this podcast who are seeking to modernize their operations in the most effective way, in terms of what you've learned from your own experience, especially those operating within regulated environments?
Within regulated environments, you can still do transformational change.
Yeah.
It's really important, though, that you are crystal clear about where you want to go and then take your tech partners with you on that way. Don't sit back and hope that someone else will drive the transformation in your organization, because they won't, or worse still, someone might and won't get to the outcome that you want.
All right, Brendan, it's been a pleasure having you on Impact Insights. Thank you so much for your time.
My absolute pleasure. Thank you for having me.
Thanks so much, Brendan, for sharing those insights. It's clear your team is building more than just better digital tools. You're reshaping how superannuation can feel relevant, accessible, and human. We look forward to seeing what comes next.